Calvin Coolidge rightly pointing it out there. Conservation, preserving human life should be the utmost priority of any government. Good morning and welcome to the conversation on TOS TV Network, your digital first Pan African news network. And of course, I'm bringing you the show from Nigeria, Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. And of course, my name is Adesuwelsi. So last week, the Owo massacre trend, the church massacre that happened in Owo, Ondo State, that has left at least 40 people dead, according to recent numbers. Initially, when the attack happened, the state government said that they were non-Nigerians. The perpetrators were non-Nigerians, but miscreants from neighboring states, Mali, all of those states. But recently, the federal government has pinned it on ISWAP terrorist group, and based on that, a lot of persons have pointed out the loops in the disconnect between the security agencies that we have in Nigeria as the loop through which these miscreants or terrorists keep perpetrating their evil. So today on the show, we'll be looking at tackling insurgency through collaboration among security agencies in Nigeria. And to join me in having that conversation here in the studio is Adebayo Fajimi. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you. Now, getting straight into it, every security agencies in Nigeria actually has, a defined role, but the success of the operation as collectively as a security agencies is largely hinged on how well they relate with each other. Do you agree?
Yes, of course.
But do you think that security agencies in Nigeria understand that?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay.
So far, you can say that there is no synergy between our security agencies, whether the civil defense, the Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, and a host of others. And that's where the issue is. There is no meeting point where every one of them come to understand that there is no way we can critically tackle this menace without having a very strong collaboration. And that's where that's one of our major problems, because you have boundaries. Every agency, every one of them has boundary, and of course you have unhealthy competition.
Yeah, exactly.
So no sense of belonging. There's no common purpose, for every one of them, and that's one of the factors that is really affecting us as a people.
Where do you think this disconnect or the rivalry that you spoke of, where do you think it sprung from? Because I feel like during sensitization or orientation, when getting into, that space of joining the security agents, I think one of the things that maybe has been wrong into the ears is the fact that your utmost priority is safeguarding the lives of Nigerians and protecting the country. Every other thing comes secondary. So what do you think the disconnect, the rivalry actually does spring from?
So I think first is the perception the Nigerian society have about each of them. For instance, the way a Nigerian would treat others, they talk about a military or a soldier is different from the regard they will give to a civil defense officer, and the way our society relates with the Nigerian police is different from the way a civil defense officer will be related with. So I think this is where the problem lies. And if you look at their remuneration also, are these people were remunerated? Are they getting the same thing? Because you say, okay, if a soldier or somebody who is in the military is earning also amount of money because he or she has more responsibility than somebody who is a civil defense officer. Of course, we need, number one, we need to give them a sense of belonging by taking care of them. Nobody is indispensable. Everybody has a sense of responsibility. You know that wherever you belong to, you are appreciated, and nobody is placed above you, nobody underrates or dispel whatever ability or what you are bringing to the table. So I think these are one of the things that is really affecting. But what I think we need to do is by reorienting ourselves and by reorienting these people and giving them a new perspective beyond the normal or the traditional way of relating with them.
Okay. I think it was yesterday the news broke that the perpetrators of the Owo massacre had been captured. That has not been verified, but captured by local vigilantes or security in Owo and State. Even though that has not been verified, but that just brings to the fore how effective local policing or, you know, the vigilantes can be. Do you think that we as a country are not really looking in that direction? Maybe incorporating them into the fight against insurgency, all of that.
Yes, we have said this over and over. Even former President Olusegun Obasanjo made that statement just not too long ago that we need a state police in Nigeria. And if you, for instance, in the United States, they have state police. They have a mayor of a town or of a city is has a control over the police in its province, so and so on and so forth like that. But here in Nigeria, it is not like that. So you have a kind of a security architecture that can only be controlled at the center. So, and you know, if anything is happening in my village, maybe somewhere 45,000 kilometers away from the center, and if that the one who controls the police or the architecture is in the center, but what if the person has no interest in what is happening in my village? But the question is, am I not part of the center? Am I not part of the system? So if we can decentralize this thing, I think it will be okay. Let's whoever is in charge of a state has power to control whatever architecture, security architecture that is being established in that state. I think that will help, rather than just say, okay, it is only the president that have the say over the security architecture of the country. So if we can incorporate those people, like, you know, decentralizing it, giving the governor of a state a power, or even if as we may have it, the king, the monarch of a, you know, of a town, to have to have control over the security architecture of that town, of the province of the village, it will work. But we must not do that at the expense of, okay, just saying, okay, we just wanted to protect them. Like in the US, a mayor has the power, has power over the security architecture of a city, but at the same time, he will never neglect taking care of them. The remuneration is very, very important, and everybody is, is collaborating with the mayor and all other leaders over there to make sure that these people are well taken care of, and nobody is complaining about that. So if it has worked for them, I also got the report yesterday, but it's unverifiable, so I have not confirmed that. So if it works, of course, fine. But I believe that even if that has not worked there, of course, there are more we can do to ensure that we inculcate or we incorporate other local forces to ensure that we tackle this menace and we live in a very safe society. Okay.
This is out of the box and very unorthodox, right? Okay. I know that you're a Christian, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I know largely when things happen, when issues of security happens, a lot of times Christians and Muslims will say, oh, let's pray, let's do this and let's do that, because that's largely the weapon that we know how to use, yeah? But do you think that Nigeria should consider unorthodox means of, you know, tackling security? When I mean unorthodox, maybe the traditionalists and all of that, because it's fun. I thought it was unorthodox because I've heard people say, look, these will have what it takes to maybe find out where these people is, find out what they're using and all of that. So if the regular means aren't working, should we not consider unorthodox methods?
Well, those who think differently live differently. Okay. So I think differently and I don't subscribe to that. Okay. So God has given us the brain, the capacity to, in fact, we are co-creators. So everything we need to solve the problem or whatever problem we are facing, He has given us that ability to tackle it. So it is only in Nigeria that even if an average man is hungry, he goes to the church to pray. So it is just a simple principle. There's no darkness. There's darkness. You don't need to pray. Just put in light. Darkness will vanish. So we need to put on our thinking cap and bring to the table our ability, the ability God has given to us to tackle this. I don't believe no amount of prayer. In developed world, they don't believe so much of, they don't carry religion on their head as we carry it on our head in Africa. Yet we are the most poorest country in the world. We are the most underdeveloped country in the world. Of course, so this is not something I personally subscribe to. So let us do the needful, and of course, I believe we'll get the right results.
Okay, coming back to the issue that we're talking about, how can we now begin to get, security agencies and outfits in Nigeria to collaborate with each other, to work together, to help in achieving, even if we don't get to zero insurgency or zero terrorism in Nigeria, but reducing it to the barest minimum?
Firstly, let our leaders, the stakeholders in the sector, try to demonstrate good leadership in terms of how they treat these people and how they relate with them. Of course, then let us have that mindset that whether you are a soldier, you are a police officer, you are a civil defense officer, you have one common purpose, and your common purpose is to ensure that there is security of life and property. So, and let us treat them very well. In fact, the way and manner a lot of Nigeria are treating these people, it will really irritate you. And as somebody in that sector, you will not want to, you will feel unkind. You get. So it is a collective responsibility, but one, let the leaders in that sector demonstrate good leadership, because just like John C. Maxwell says that everything rises and falls on leadership. You as an average man, me as an average citizen, don't really have much to influence, in that sector, but let the leaders in the sector start first, then we come to the society, then we play our role as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining me in the conversation and sharing your thoughts with me this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. And thank you for staying with me on the conversation this morning. Do not forget that you can continue the conversation across our social media platforms. Just follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's TOS TV Network. And of course, the website the channel to subscribe to on YouTube is TOS TV Network as well. And stream our website, www.tostvnetwork.com, for news, stories and happenings from across the world. Thank you again. My name is Adesu. I'll see you. Please have a very restful weekend.